Alright, we're in my kitchen for no real reason other than I just want to be in the kitchen. I think it's a cool little thing, a little set or something. I have my Mac here because I have notes, and yeah, we're talking about sports photography. I've done it a few times now. I've been really happy with the results a few times now, so I thought might as well do a video and might as well talk about it. It's like I'm not an expert. It's still something I'm very new to, but it's something I've enjoyed very thoroughly and want to pursue more and more. So yeah, I thought I'd talk about it. I wrote down some talking points a while ago, and yeah, there's just certain things that I want to talk about. Starting off is inconsistent lighting is so annoying. Now, when I talk about inconsistent lighting, what I'm talking about is like shadows. When you let's say you're outside, you're just using sunlight, and it's kind of behind some trees, and you have big shadows streaking across the field. When it was the soccer season, I was shooting boys soccer for my school, and our field has trees around it. It's P&W. Of course, there's trees around it, so it would get shadows across the field, which you would kind of just have to pick what side of the field you're in. There's workarounds. One of them being auto ISO. That helped quite a bit, but even then that can get a little annoying because then your image is way overexposed, and yeah, but like you can't help it. It's a weird balance, but it is something that can help give you a little assistance if that's really what you want to do. What I would do is, because generally it'd be shadows coming from this side, reaching across, and then like you think about it as two gradients, dark coming this way, light coming this way. What I would do sometimes to get around having to do whatever to then also avoid using auto to then also avoid using auto ISO is I would just go to one side of the field I'd go to the side of the field that was darker to bright, set my settings for that, and then just deal with it. There's no perfect science to it. That's just kind of what I do. So that's one way to work around it. But you can also just use auto ISO. Just set your shutter speed where you want it, set your aperture where you want it, and let your camera do the work. But that's just one way about it. And then moving on to something I like is when you have when you have consistent lighting, right? And little sub point, I'd take poor or like not like a darker but consistent lighting than good bright light inconsistently, because you can at least easily compensate for that dark lighting. But if it's bright light, if it's bright and dark inconsistent lighting, it's just a pain to compensate for. So that's just my preference. But moving on to the second point, just kind of moving through these are not that extensive, is as much as gear doesn't matter, like everybody say gear doesn't matter, and it doesn't, it also kind of does, right? I mean, you see, there's a reason, like the A1 Mark II exists, and A9 III, the Canon R1, the R3, all these things. There's reasons that it's not just everyone. There's reasons why people aren't just all using like a beginner DSLR, because even though those are cheaper, whatever, and you can still get good glass for them. I mean, the A9 III has a global shutter and can shoot at 120 for stills. That's crazy. If you were given the option between, what even is Sony's? I'm not even familiar with their DSLR line. To me, it's a DSLR-like camera. Oh, because okay, but let's say you get the choice between a Canon 90D, which is the generation above this camera that I'm using, and the Canon R1. Now you get full lens suite, everything. You get the best glass possible, the best EF glass possible, and then you also get the best RF glass possible if you go through the R1. You're going to pick the R1. Gear matters. Like, it does, but it doesn't. It's really confusing, but, like, understand that, like, don't expect to go take, like, not that you can't. You just gotta take more portraits, but, like, at a football game, you can't just go with a Canon PowerShot G7X. You can't. That's not how that works. Actually, you could take it and take some nice portraits, and get a certain vibe with it, but you couldn't really get, like, action pictures like what you can get with even a DSLR, like what I'm using. Yeah, it's kind of like, much as it doesn't matter, kind of does, but it's also not that big of I don't know, it's a really back and forth point. Point 3 is you need to keep your head on a swivel. You need to be paying attention. It sounds really difficult. You kind of get into the groove of it, or at least I did. But you need to be paying attention to your surroundings. You cannot be too locked in that you will get ran over at some point or hit by something. Trust me. It happened the first game. Never again. Yeah, just keep your head on a swivel. Avoid getting hit. Avoid going somewhere you can't be or aren't supposed to be. Avoid hitting somebody else. What else are my points? Yeah, avoid missing like a really good pitch. You just be aware of what's happening, both in the game and on the sidelines. It sounds like a lot. You kind of get used to it. I say it like I'm a pro. I'm not, which is kind of helps my point of I've hardly done this, and I can say that you get used to it because I already have. Just out of habit, keep my head on a swivel. Just always aware of everything that is, not always, to be honest, but being as aware as possible of the things happening around me, because if I'm locked in on this guy, like let's say I'm locked in on the guy right here, the guy over here is going to get the pass, this guy is here just to kind of be an option. I'm locked in on that guy, I miss that pass, he gets a touchdown, wins the game, whatever. You gotta keep an eye out. Moving on to my 4th point, because honestly I'm kind of just flying through these. Slow down. Especially if you know or are pretty sure you're going to come to more games and take more pictures. Slow down. Also, with football, those games last hours. More is going to happen. Now, if you're what happened at the last game I was at, we were down 9-0. Then we got 3 points. Got another 3. Got another, or sorry, not another 3. We're up 3 points. Sorry. Well, basically what happened at the last game, I took pictures at other team was up 9. We were at 0. We got 3 points, right? Then kind of goes on. Then we score 0 points. Then we get 6 right before the game is about to end. Right before regulation is gonna end. Right before it's gonna be right in the 4th quarter. Just barely get 6 points, tied up, head into overtime. Right. I missed that. I missed that shot of us tying up the score, getting into overtime. Big moment. Then, another one I missed was when we actually won. We got another touchdown, whatever we won. Missed that one as well. It is what it is, but it plays into the point of keep your hands over, be aware. Kind of there are scenarios of me not going slow or me going too slow, but don't be so anxious. You're gonna end up overshooting. It's gonna be a lot more work for you after the fact. It's just gonna be annoying because you're gonna instead of getting home with maybe 2,500 pictures, you're gonna show up with 3,000, 3,500. A lot more to go through. especially if you do what I do, I go through all the photos and I cull on my camera first, and then I do very general, kind of just like as in focus. Do I like the shot in general? And then I'll actually take those onto my computer, just so I'm transferring those files and stuff like that. But yeah, just slow down. Is there gonna be more stuff? There are certain cases like what I was talking about of there not being more, passes, interceptions, goals, whatever. But there's most, especially if you're early on in the game, don't be taking pictures of everything. Just slow down, alright? Anyways, short kind of video. I just want to talk about a couple of things, too. The sports parks have been really enjoying it recently, so I thought I'd just talk about it, do a little rant, and then, because also nobody's home, so I can just be out here in the kitchen. If you somehow found this video organically, like this was recommended to you from the YouTube algorithm, go check out my Instagram under the same name, Lost in Traffic Media, and yeah, subscribe or like or whatever if you want. I don't really care. If you disagree with me, comment. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But yeah, just wanted to do like a little rant just for the hell of it. Talk about something I've recently gone into and have enjoyed. So yeah, have a nice day. Like I said earlier, it's Halloween as I am recording this, so this won't be out on Halloween. This will probably be out in a few days or a week or so. But happy Halloween.